Welcome to the podcast. Atlassian Williams Racing is one of the most iconic teams in Formula One, along with heritage, speed, adaptability, and intelligent invention to win races. As the sports transform, so must the systems and teams behind the scenes. Today we are thrilled to be joined by Sorin Cheran. Sorin is the Chief Information and Analytics Officer at Atlassian Williams Racing. He is leading a quiet revolution within the team, fusing legacy with innovation, tradition with transformation, and helping shape a new era of intelligent racing where every insight, every system, and every second counts. With a distinguished career spanning high-performance computing, AI, and data architecture, Sorin has held global leadership roles at HPE, where he shaped the enterprise-wide AI strategy and innovation. Sorin holds a PhD in artificial intelligence and robotics, alongside degrees in computer and information science and engineering. Now, at Atlassian Williams Racing, Sorin is transforming how the team leverages data and technology to gain a competitive edge both on and off the track. Sorin, thank you for joining us today, and let's dive right in.
Thank you for inviting me, Dragos. It's a pleasure to be here.
Sorin, Williams Racing is a team with a deep history. How do you balance the heritage with innovation?
Well, it's a very funny thing, the word balance, right? I think it's not necessarily a matter of balancing, because innovation has been part of our DNA for many decades. Since the team was created in the 50s, we've been, if you're looking for our history, we've been one of the teams that has been always on the edge of innovation, and we've been pushing the boundaries of what they can actually do in motorsports, in F1, and in the industry. So I think it's more of a matter of honoring that legacy, making sure that we are pushing forward by innovating. We're not actually left behind. And I think what actually happened at Williams in the several decades, right, we actually fell a bit behind, right? But now, in the current environment, we are actually building the next chapter through fresh ideas, through partnerships, through tools. And so in order to honor the deep innovation that has been all throughout our history and that has been with us since Frank created the team.
Very interesting. And I do feel that being on top three teams that are in F1, and if I'm not mistaken, it brings a lot of pressure on you.
I think I'm a person that thrives on pressure. I'm a person that thrives on stress. I do stress, but it's actually it's a good stress, simply because the moment I'm actually stressing, this is when I'm starting to brainstorm with myself, with my teams across in order, how do we find a better solution? How do you find a new way to actually go out and think differently on how do you solve the problem? So yes, I think it is a lot of pressure, so to speak, but it's the good type of pressure/stress, simply because we are thriving at Williams, thinking that we need to honor the legacy. And yeah, it's not necessarily about negative pressure. It's good pressure that actually pushes us forward. So indeed, you're correct, but half correct.
And in this ecosystem, heritage with innovation, now what role plays digital transformation in this job?
So I think digital transformation had many definitions through decades, right? Simply because in some parts, simply by adding a couple of sensors on your car was digital transformation, right? Because you could actually see data. So obviously, as this sport has progressed, it's all about data. It's all about cloud. It's all about how quickly you're actually connecting the systems, how quickly you're connecting the people, how quickly you're connecting the data that connects the systems and the people, and so on, right? So I think digital transformation started to be the cornerstone on how do you develop a modern Formula One team, right? Because it's about those connections that then enable you the speed, the clarity, the precision to operate in such a high-stake environment, right? So digital transformation, as I said, the cornerstone of building an F1 team, because then it pushes across all the possible areas we can actually think about innovating, right? Not only, let's say, vertically as a stack, meaning cloud, data, AI, enterprise systems, tools, and so on and so forth, but also horizontally across your entire operations, from the moment you're working in the factory up to the moment you're working at the track, right? So this is why we need to get on this journey. Maybe some other other teams that started before. So right now, we realize even more so how critical to get this right.
So it's a race on the track and a race on the digital transformation.
Both, we keep racing.
Fantastic. In this race, how do you rethink performance analytics with support from Brillio?
So, somebody used to say that basically AI or performance analytics, because you can actually call this, machine learning, you can call it deep learning, you can call it AI, you can call it performance analytics, call it whatever you want, or analytics from data. Normally, the data you're actually putting in matters, right? So even before we think about analytics, if we take a step back, it's about how do you make sure that you have this data or this digital thread within if you want to call it a standardized data platform, or if you want to call it a data platform, it's critical to actually then enable the engineers that are actually using this data to apply the right algorithms, to extract the right insights. So taking a step back is basically we're working closely with Brillio to build the foundations around the data platform, the digital thread. And now that would actually empower engineers to go out and create better dashboards, to go out and create better predictive models or predictive analytics that actually allow you to see where the puck is going to be. It doesn't matter if it is race strategy, telemetry, upgrades, and so on and so forth, right? So basically, it starts with the data, then it moves slowly into the first level of analytics.
Information.
Exactly. And then later on, you're basically empowering the engineers that are actually staying in the pit wall, in the garage, in the factory, and so on and so forth. So bottom line is, Brillio allowed us, or is allowing us, enables us to think differently about how we are empowering our engineers through the right level of data standardization, data ecosystem, moving upwards later on into analytics.
Fantastic. And with this, data is being transformed in information, and information into decision they raise.
You've been to your machine learning class, 100%, yes, that is correct.
Okay, so in this ecosystem, why is user experience an important focus area for the team?
I love this question. So if you're going at a race, I mean, you've been in the garage with us, right? So if you're going into the garage, right, you see the main island right there in the center in the garage, in between the two sides, right? Alex's side and Carlos's side, right? All of there you have, so through the island, you have performance engineers, you have race engineers, you have somebody that is looking at tires, somebody that is actually looking at aerodynamics, chief mechanics, somebody that is actually looking at across the information, across everything, which is called engineering coordination and so on. They are all people. They all have their own preferences about how to consume the data. Right? Some of them prefer to actually see a graph. Some of them prefer to see a table. Some of them prefer to see overlays in between data and tables and so on and so on. So I think you need to enable them to do their job. So if we do our job right, they are empowered not to think about the data or the usability of the system and so on. They can actually go out and make the decision.
And consume the existing data.
Exactly. So UX design and usability of whatever software you actually build, whatever method you're consuming the data is critical. Right. Because if you're not making their job easier, it means that basically instead of reducing the friction, you're not, on the contrary, not allowing them to make a quick decision, right? So a quick decision can be in a matter of seconds, box. Right. It can be in a matter of seconds. Oh, by the way, your diffuser is broken. You're losing this amount of downforce and whatever others. It doesn't matter. So building the systems around the users as you're going through that in that garage through the island, and understanding exactly what they need in order for them not to think about what they would have wanted, but to react. That's critical.
And we have seen how much is impacting if a decision like box and you shouldn't be on box, is impacting the race results.
100%. Sometimes it's a difference between 10 points and 1 point or no point at all, right? So yes, indeed.
What's your vision for the future of Atlassian Williams Racing and the role that Brillio plays in?
So, Dragos, that's a very good question, which I hate to answer, but I have to, joking aside. So, listen, I want Atlassian Williams Racing, I want my team to be a technology-driven team, right? So what does it mean? It means, obviously, that you have the right tech strategy, that you onboard the right emerging technologies and so on. But if I do my job right, every engineer that is at track, Alex, Carlos, they don't even know that I exist. Meaning that technology is seamlessly consumed within the team, right? Having the right enterprise systems in the factory up to the latest generation, and interacting API between one another, feeding data into a cohesive data platform that then actually extracts data from everywhere around the track, from the factory, from our simulations, and bringing everything together into one data platform, applying the right level of analytics, AI models, whatever we need. But in the end, it becomes on a screen of an engineer and says, this is where the puck is going to be. This is when the others are going to pit. This is where when the life of this certain part of this front wing actually goes out and affects performance. They don't even need to know that technology is embedded within everything. It is today. It is not at the right level because we need to bring this into a more intelligent, agile manner where basically you're adopting to the new technologies. So from my perspective, the more technology I bring in and the easier it is for them to consume, the better we are, and the better we'll be in front of the grid. Now, when I talk about technology, it's clear that we can't do this alone, right? And if I think about our technology strategy, it has various areas and themes we discuss about that. But it's also made of puzzles. It's made of places where we know that either we can't develop that alone, that we can't develop that fast enough, that even if we develop the fast enough, sometimes we are not the subject matter experts into that area. So building that puzzle with partners that are able to support us in the strategy is key. And Brillio has a very important role to play into this for various reasons, simply because you guys have done digital transformation before, right? I've been working with your data engineers, and they're great. So you have the skills, the engineering skills and capacity to go out and accelerate this journey for us. So Brillio, basically, if you think about this, it's a key element within the puzzle that is helping us with this digital transformation, with the data acceleration later on, obviously with more intelligent ways of looking at data. I don't want to use to jump the gun here, but thinking, if I'm to put it into one sentence, is this digital muscle that is matching our racing ambition. Right. And you know what our racing ambition is? Yes. Not only to win a championship, but to basically, through technology, right, be there for a decade.
And you'll create a revolution with this. I'm pretty sure in the racing.
I hope so. Again, since I was a kid, I've always been a Williams fan. So, having this dream job where I actually applying everything I've learned, pushing the limits, and getting this team in front of the grid, not alone, with the partners, with Brillio, with your engineers, with you, I think it's a cool job to be in.
Thanks so much, Sorin, for joining today's. As a conclusion, it's not about replacing the past. It's just building it with purpose.
100%. And I think we are honored to have such a heritage, to take it on with us at every race. And we realize that unless you innovate, unless you stay relevant, unless you partner with the right partners, you won't be able to honor that past and to push it forward. So yes, it is. It's not about replacing the past. It's how do you push forward into the future, getting the past with you, but also being always open to whatever comes next.
Thank you so much. Until next time, remember, transformation isn't a phase, it's a mindset.
Thank you, Dragos. That is very, very correct. Guys, keep pushing and then keep building.
Thank you.